I'm sitting there with Coop, and we're watching the Dodgers and the Braves, and and it pops up on my phone the shot. Who hit the shot to send it to overtime last night?
Marcus
Smart. Right.
Oh yeah,
in the Garden. And it was crazy. That double overtime game was insane.
And then to start overtime, like they didn't miss a three. It was just bang, 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 bang.
And if the Celtics and the Knicks are both going to just have matchups like that, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. That's the stuff of my childhood.
Good for everybody.
And so Randall with a huge night. Fournier, who had nothing but bagels for Boston last year, and in the land of bagels, dropped 32 on the Celtics. He was terrific, too.
Bill Simmons had a great tweet. Fournier continues to kill the Celtics.
Yeah. Jaylen Brown. And by the way, Jaylen Brown coming off of COVID. And he said that his heart was coming through his chest. I cannot imagine coming off of COVID with symptoms and recovering and having your legs and your breath and your brain and your body. I mean, my God.
What
that
he did
46
last night,
was incredible.
We're going to talk about for a long time.
I know.
It was awesome.
So Coop says, Dad, looks like the Knicks are going to be good, really good again.
Uh-oh.
And I said, yeah, sure looks that way.
I know where this is going.
And he says to me, so that's your team, right? The Knicks.
Oh, yeah.
Conundrum?
And I said, yeah, I grew up loving them, Coop, like that arena, Madison Square Garden, there's nothing like it. And so he says to me, so maybe we can go there and, you'll root for the Knicks. At which point, I am stopped in my tracks.
And you said?
I said,
Uh-oh.
Sure.
Oh, whoa.
Billy Joel in a Knick game, Rich. It's in. Come on.
Yeah, but Mike,
come on.
Rich is. He says you're rooting for the Knicks.
Gotta go.
And we could go to a game, right? And I can't bring myself to tell him the reason why I cannot root for the Knicks, will not root for the Knicks, find myself conflicted, wanting to still root for the Knicks, seeing the Garden the way that it is lit.
Garden was
David Aldridge, the great DA,
That's
tweeted out something along the lines of seeing the Garden the way it was and how lit it was and what have you. And he's like, now imagine it's the Eastern Conference Finals. One coach is Phil Jackson. The other one is Pat Riley. One team has Michael Jordan. The other team has Patrick Ewing. That was incredible. And if it can get back to that, that's what I'm getting goosebumps even just talking about it. And I could not tell my son all of that because I don't want to fill his head with the garbage that this is. And I thought for a split second, do I possibly let it go?
Oh.
Whoa.
Honestly, like, here's a 10-year-old asking me these questions, and how do I tell a 10-year-old I'm taking a principled stand over and have to teach him the words schmohawk and schmecky and what it's like to sit there and not back up the history of a team and let Charles Oakley get ejected, and how the way that I have said what I have said, that this man is, I can't put it past him having my photograph being one of the members of the media not allowed in the building.
Not letting Spike Lee in.
I mean, honestly, as you know, I don't inflate my sense of self here at all, but I don't know.
I mean, who knows what he would do.
That
you're also teaching Coop to hold grudges, which is
like,
important.
I'm seriously bringing the subject up here.
Brockman, you said that's important? It's important to hold grudges?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm with Brockman.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's important, man. I don't know if that's something
something like this?
I don't know.
Like this. I could not. My answer to him was sure. You know, I mean,
super high register.
When are we gonna? Well, my son has not been taught the beauty and nuance of higher register just yet.
Also, when are you going to be in New York?
I don't
go
know.
to a game. But
I brushed it aside. Like, we'll deal with it another day. I could not sit there. I'm like, well, let me tell you, Coop, about a story about a guy who was hit a triple by being born on third base and has a silver spoon in his mouth and a styrofoam coffee cup in his hand and let one of the greatest players in the history of the Knicks get dragged out of an arena and didn't lift a finger. Let me tell you that story. You know what I mean? Like, how do I tell a 10-year-old that story?
But Rich, on the same,
and that's what I thought to myself: do I just let it go?
Tell him about Kevin.
On the same note, though, what you're doing is you are taking that out on Julius Randle and Evan Fournier and our buddy Ben Lyons' favorite player, R.J. Barrett.
Yeah,
you're making them pay.
By the way,
you're making the Suns pay for the sins of the father by not rooting for the Knicks.
Excuse me. I'm not taking anything out on those guys, and they have more than enough head in sand still going to the Knicks games fans that are rooting like hell for them. They don't need my voice. They feel loved in that city big time.
Rich, you have a big
voice,
time.
Bro. Big time.
But Coop's a Celtics fan. So,
he is.
like, you know.
He is.
Yeah. You could just come with us.
Oh, please.
He's offering.
Please.
I mean,
I'd rather root for the Clippers out here and take them to a game and say this team is worthy of your fandom.
That's cool too.
Well, take them to Clippers next then. That way you're not really going to the Garden.
There
you're
go.
Staying in town, and therefore Coop might end up
who's
liking.
going to look after him after I get dragged out of the arena and sent to jail?
Come on, Ballmer's not going to do you.
Ballmer won't do you.
Hey, Reggie Jackson, could you look after my son?
Ballmer won't.
I do love your game, Reg.
Ty Lue will put Coop right on the bench, bro. He might get a few minutes.
That
you never
happened
know.
last night. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.